Hey everyone, welcome back to Taking Back Monday and welcome back to another one of our Taking Back Monday shorts. This is an AI generated conversation based on an article I posted on LinkedIn. This intro is real. However, the following conversation you are about to hear is generated by AI based on that article. Hope you enjoy.
All right, so get this. Today we are going to deep dive into something, and it might just like totally change how you think about leadership. We're talking loyal to ferocity. Yeah, you heard it right.
Loyal to ferocity.
It's like ditching that whole like loyal to a fault thing and, actually unleashing what loyalty can really do, especially when you're trying to build, amazing teams. So we're looking at this piece called Loyal to Ferocity. Why being loyal to a fault is a leadership fallacy.
Interesting.
Yeah, so get ready because you might have to rethink everything you thought you knew about loyalty.
Well, one thing that really jumps out from this piece is like how it flips loyalty on its head. It's not just this, passive thing about your personality. It's like this active choice. And it makes you ask, like, hold on, is my loyalty, is it helping me or is it actually like holding me back?
I love that. Yeah, it's like all of a sudden, loyalty has this energy, this power. It's not just some, old school idea.
Yeah.
And speaking of power, did you see how the author uses that whole mama bear thing? Like how a mama bear will do anything to protect her cubs?
Yeah.
They're saying that's the kind of like total dedication leaders need to have for their teams. But I don't know, doesn't that seem a bit much?
A bit much.
Yeah, like are we supposed to be, growling at our competitors, hoarding all the resources? I mean,
Well, I think that's where it gets a little more nuanced. It's not about like literally being a bear. The point of that mama bear thing, it's about, it's about
Yeah.
creating that space, that safe space where your team can really thrive. Think about it. What does a mama bear actually do? She protects those cubs, right?
Right,
Makes
yeah.
sure they have what they need, and she's always, fighting for them. Now, think about that in terms of leadership. You're not babying your team. You're shielding them from all that, all that noise and negativity, so they can actually focus on doing their best work.
Okay, yeah, now I see how that could work. But the author, they also say that becoming one of, quote, my people, it's not automatic. Like you don't just get that fierce loyalty just by showing up, right? It's got to be about those shared values, putting in the work and actually showing the team, you're worth it.
Right, and that's where this really connects with Simon Sinek's work, especially his whole idea of leaders eat last. Sinek says the best leaders, they put their team's well-being above their own. They're willing to sacrifice, take on the hard stuff to make sure the team has what they need to succeed.
So wait, are we saying leaders should be like martyrs? Isn't that like a recipe for burnout? Or even, people taking advantage of you if you're always putting your team first?
Yeah, that's a good point. And it really shows why finding that balance is so important. This loyal to ferocity thing, it's not about ignoring your own needs, right? It's about seeing how your success and the team's success, they're tied together. And there's research that shows when leaders actually take care of themselves, show that they're resilient, it has this ripple effect on the whole team.
Oh, interesting.
Think about it. If you as a leader are always stressed out, I mean, how effective can you really be? But if you take care of yourself, then you can actually take care of your team.
So it's less about being selfless and more about being like strategic, like taking care of yourself. Is that actually a secret weapon for leaders?
Yeah, exactly. It's understanding that how you're doing and how your team's doing, they're connected. And that leads us to another key part of this loyal to ferocity idea. It's about giving feedback that actually helps people grow.
Okay, so how does a, quote, mama bear give tough feedback without, crushing someone? I'm imagining like claws and teeth here.
Right. Well, that's where the ferocity comes in. But it's about your purpose, not being aggressive. It's about being clear and honest, but always with the goal of helping that person,
Yeah.
helping them improve. Think of it like this. You're not attacking the person. You're attacking the problem.
So it's like channeling that mama bear energy into like constructive criticism. Okay, I think I'm starting to see how all this fits together. But I got to be honest, this whole loyal to ferocity thing, it's still kind of intimidating. How do you know when you've gone too far? Like when you've crossed the line from, fierce support to just plain fierce?
Yeah, I like that analogy. And the author gives us some pretty clear examples of how to actually, how to walk that tightrope. For instance, think about unwavering support. It doesn't mean you have to agree with everything your team does. It means you're there for them. Even when they mess up.
Right. So it's more about like how you handle those mess ups. Like instead of blaming someone,
Yeah.
you help them fix it and learn from it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not saying the mistake was okay, you're dealing with it, but in a way that keeps that trust,
Right.
and keeps things respectful. And that's where that growth-focused feedback comes in. The author is really clear that feedback, it shouldn't be a punishment.
But let's be honest, giving feedback, especially when it's, not good news, it can be super awkward. It's like walking through a minefield, right? You take one wrong step, yeah, boom, and then you've got people upset and
Damaged relationships.
exactly. So how do you even deal with that?
Well, the key is to focus on what they did, the behavior, and not the person themselves. So instead of saying, you're always late, you could say something like, hey, I've noticed you've been late to a few meetings lately. Is there anything going on? Can you help me understand?
Hmm.
It's about being specific,
Okay.
sticking to the facts, and trying to find a solution. And remember, feedback, it should go both ways. Encourage your team to share their thoughts too and ask questions.
Oh,
The goal is to have a conversation,
mm.
not just, lecture them.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's about like building a culture where feedback is helpful, not something to be scared of. But what about those times when like you tried everything, but someone on the team just isn't getting it? Like
No.
their work is just not good enough, or maybe their values don't match the team's anymore. How do you deal with that and still be loyal to Ferocity?
Oh, that's when it gets really tough. And honestly, there's no easy answer. But remember, loyal to Ferocity, it's not about holding on to people no matter what. Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone, the most loyal thing, is to be straight up with them about what's not working and help them find a better place.
So even when you have to like let someone go, you can still do it in a loyal way. How does that actually work?
Well, it starts with being open and honest.
Mhm.
Make sure they know what you expect from them and give them, a real chance to improve. And if they're still not meeting those expectations, then you have to have that tough conversation. Don't try to sugarcoat it, but don't be mean about it either. Just stick to the facts.
Okay.
Be clear about where they're falling short.
And then what if they still don't get better? Like even after all that?
Well, then you have to make the tough call. But even then, you can still be loyal to Ferocity. It's about treating them with respect through the whole thing, giving them support, helping them move on, and being honest with the rest of the team about why you had to make that decision.
So sometimes letting someone go is actually the most loyal thing you can do.
Right.
It seems kind of backwards, but I I guess I see how it fits with this whole loyal to Ferocity idea. It's about what's best for the whole team, even if it means making decisions that, not everyone's going to like.
Exactly. And that actually brings us to another part of loyal to Ferocity that we haven't talked about yet. It's about celebrating wins together.
Oh, right, right. It can't all be about tough feedback and hard conversations.
Yeah.
There's got to be some fun in there somewhere.
Of course. Recognizing and celebrating successes, big and small, it's so important for team morale. It reminds everyone that they're working towards the same goal. When you celebrate wins together, you're saying, hey, we're all in this together. We succeed or fail as a team.
Yeah, I see how that ties back to that mama bear idea.
Yeah.
You're not just protecting your cubs. You're taking care of them, encouraging them, and celebrating what they do well. You're creating a good environment where they can, really thrive.
Exactly. And it brings up another really important point, this loyal to Ferocity thing. It's not just about what the leader does. It's about building a whole culture where everyone feels like they can live by those principles. It's about supporting each other, giving each other good feedback,
Yeah.
and being committed to each other's success.
But what about the rest of us? Like the people who aren't, running the whole show? Can we still, get in on this loyal to Ferocity action?
Absolutely, yeah. It's not about your job title or, being the boss. It's about how you are in your relationships at work, at home, everywhere, really. Remember, we were talking about how you earn loyalty. It's a two-way street. You choose who you're fiercely loyal to, and you show them that you deserve that same loyalty back.
So it's like being picky about where you focus that mama bear energy.
Yeah.
You're not just loyal to everybody. You're choosing your pack, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. And you're being the kind of pack member that people want to be loyal to. Think about the people who are truly loyal, the ones you really trust. What are they like? I bet they're reliable, they're honest, they always have your back, even when you mess up.
Yeah. So,
They're living those same values that the author talks about, that unwavering support, giving feedback that helps you grow, and celebrating each other's wins.
so I guess the big takeaway from this loyal to ferocity thing is that it's not just about being a good leader. It's about being a good person, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's about building those real connections. It's about supporting each other, being honest with each other, and celebrating each other's successes. And those are things that are important, no matter who you are or what you do.
Totally. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope you've come away with some new ideas and are ready to unleash your own loyal to ferocity out in the world.